I'm continuing my preview of the Anand-Carlsen World Championship match that will take place in Chennai in India in November. And if you recall, in the last clip I showed a game where Carlsen attacked Anand like crazy, but Anand won through with a very nice counter-attack. Well, in their next encounter, it's only a few weeks after that game, Carlsen also tried to attack, but Anand was a match for him once again, and well, it was a long technical game. But they finally ended up here in this endgame, where you can see Anand with the black pieces has a rook against a bishop. Pawns are even, just one pawn on the board each. But black has technical difficulties here. Let's see how Anand surmounted those difficulties. Well, the first thing to note is that if black simply tries to take the pawn on h3, for example, like this, then this will just be a draw, for example, here, and the king gets back, and it's just a draw. The king is trapped here, or the king gets in the corner and it's a draw. So there are some technical difficulties. The trick, of course, is to force white's king as far away as possible and then to dive back and give up the rook here. So let's see how Anand did that. Well, the first move is obvious. You check the king away, and because of the position of the kings, white's king has to move further away. But it's still not far enough. If the rook dives down here again, well, white's king will come back and it'll just be a draw. So black needs to make a bit more progress first. So king f2. Well, white is in a kind of zugzwang here. You know, if the king moves, then, for example, here, then it'll be checked further away. So white has to be very careful how he treads. So Carlsen just waited, and now this check is rather awkward. So if, for example, king d2, then we can attack the bishop, and then rook d5 check, the king is checked further away. So king d4, and now the king comes up. So this kind of, you can see that white's king is kind of restricted here. So white just has to wait. So the king comes up. And white is in a kind of zugzwang in this position. For example, if the bishop moves here, then the rook goes here, and that's a nasty threat. So the bishop comes here, rook g1, and this position is zugzwang. So if the bishop moves away, then we check the king further away. And if the bishop comes back in this direction, well, then we can win quite easily with rook here. And of course, well, we sacrifice rook for bishop in that case. And if bishop f1, well, the bishop is just completely the wrong side, and we can win very easily just by moving down and attacking the bishop and then taking the pawn. So here the king has to move. King d5 played in the game. And now some subtle checks. So, well, king d6, the king will be too far away. So king d4. And after rook g5, Carlsen actually resigned in this position. So the threat is rook takes bishop. Let's see why he resigned. So the bishop must move away. Rook g6. Okay, the bishop has to move. And now you can see we've managed to get our rook in the perfect position to give a check here, and the position of the kings means that the white king is going to have to move away. So we keep the king cut off here. There's a threat to play here, so the bishop comes back. But now we can move the king in, and well, it's very easy now. The king is just too far away. We can take here, and if bishop takes, and that one is that. So Anand continued his run of wins against Carlsen. actually, that game was decisive for the tournament because Anand won the tournament with 8.5 out of 14, and Carlsen was second with 8 out of 14. So Carlsen is starting to become a world-class player. This is the beginning of 2008, but he's still not quite good enough for Anand. Well, in the next clip, we'll see that Carlsen starts to make even more progress.